Hello, my crafty friends. Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. As we're getting close to the end of November, I just thought I would do one more project using my colour palette for November for the colour challenge. Look at that. And this is what we've created. As you can see, we have matched this colour palette absolutely perfectly. I've got the two shades of blue. I've got the gorgeous peachy colour in here. I've used a coral pen for that. I've got the red and I've got the orange, and then I brought the colours with the pearls and also the card stock. So really lovely simple card. Don't be afraid of the white, emphasize the white, hold it there, keep it there and just enjoy it. And I think I'm going to show you how this one's made. I know it's quite late in the month, but I thought I would try and squeeze in a second project in November. We are in November, aren't we? Using my colour combination for my monthly colour challenge. If you remember, it's this gorgeous colour, red, orange, this sort of peachy colour, and then the two shades of blue. So I have done a project already and I wanted to make something a little bit different. Here is the first project I made. If you remember, we just did it with the flowers, and we used the flowers as the colour to capture there. Really pretty, but we're going to do something very different. Actually, we'll still be floral, but very different. And this time I'm going to be using my alcohol pens. So for my red, I'm using my dark red. My orange, I'm using orange. For this one, I'm going to use the palest colour on my coral blend. And then for the two blues, I'm going to use ice blue and blue turquoise. Now, you don't have to be using Spectrum Noir pens. You could be using any alcohol pens. You could actually do this with watercolours as well. So I'm going to put that to one side and we'll bring it back in to have a look in a minute. So because they're alcohol pens, I've got some alcohol colouring card. And I've cut this to 4.5 by 6 inches. I know 4 by 6 is a typical one, but I prefer 4.5 by 6. So I'm going to grab my Eureka. Let's bump those up out of the way. And I'm going to pop this into here. Now, I know some people often go down into the corner, but I just tend to go in the middle. I've got my magnet and I'm going to put it there. So I need a stamp. So I was looking for a stamp. First of all, I thought, am I going to do a clean and simple card? But no, it's not, because we're going to add some colour. So I have found this blossoming corner. It's from the Floral Elegance by Crafter's Companion. It's an acrylic stamp and it's a lovely little corner. So it can go any way. I think it looks beautiful that way up, but we're actually going to put it down in the bottom left corner. So I don't want it to go too close to the corner, but I don't want it to go too far away. Now, the other thing I had is I could do these in one go. I've got a sentiment. So let's do these in one go. Oh, that's not very clean. I'm not going to be able to move that. That's going to have to go there because it's not clean enough. So let's hope it picks it up. You can see it's already marked. I should have wiped that, but it's fine. So I'm going to go over this with a Memento ink. It doesn't matter what ink you're using for the sentiment. You might want to use a quick dry ink. You might actually want to use a coloured ink that's going to match your project. It's entirely up to you. Now, I often stamp more than one iteration of my stamp, so we should just see on there. So I'm using Memento because Memento is a water-based ink pad, and as you know, we use the opposite. I'm using alcohol pens, so I need a water-based ink pad. Now, I'm not going to just go and press. Sometimes I just press really hard, but this is really fine detail. So I'm just working all over and just trying to get a nice even blend. I can still use my pressure tool without putting too much pressure on. I don't want to squash that stamp flat. I just want to push it on. Now, you can see a couple of places where it hasn't quite caught. There we go. It could be that my table's not totally flat, whatever. So I said, that looks not bad at all. I don't think I need to go on the sentiment again. So I'm actually going to take the sentiment off. And I'm just going to ink up the flower. Now, making sure down this side didn't catch. Make sure I've definitely got plenty of ink down that side. Now you can see it's a little bit dotty at first, so I really want to push it and get the really good coverage. So we can put that onto here, just pressing. I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just trying to get an even coverage. And then now still not caught just there, but I can see there's ink on there, so I'm just going to go in and press on those bits. You sometimes find if your magnet's too close, you don't get a good stamp either. Why am I not getting there? Just press. Come on, Corrine, press. Try not to press to squash the stamp. That's not bad. Now I'm going to do one more stamp. That's not actually bad. We're just going to do one more just to get that perfect impression. I'm not going too much ink. I'd rather do lots of smaller ones. Now I need to go there. I need to go there. Just press those a bit harder, and the rest I'm just trying to thicken up and get a really good coverage on there. Oh, look at that. You see that third stamp makes all the difference. Let's take that off there, put it over there. Right, I'm just going to slide that, and then I can get that off here like that. There we go. Let's move that out of the way. So we've got our gorgeous stamped image. So we've got our floral and our sentiment. So I'm going to put a piece of card underneath. You'll see whenever anybody colours with alcohol pens, they always put a piece of card underneath. If I don't, what we're going to do is we're going to saturate the cardstock. If I don't put card underneath, the ink will pool on the back, and I've got a non-porous top cover on my table, so that means the ink will pool on there, and then it runs the risk of going back up into the card. This way, if any ink goes through, it's going to go into my cardstock and then come back out again. So let's start with, I'm not going to colour them all, but they all do roughly the same. So I've got my coral. I'm going to start with the lightest one, CR1, and I'm just going to go all over. Now, normally what I would recommend is you give this a little bit of time to dry, or even heat set it. So it might do a little bit of smudging just because it's not perfectly dry, but we can live with that. I've got one that's finished, so we can come all over just there. Now remember, my cardstock's 4.5 by 6, and we've just got this nice small image. So I'm going over that first. Then I'm going to go with my second colour, and I'm going to look at where it's darker. So it's going to be darker under there where that leaf is. It's going to be darker at the bottom. It's going to be darker just there. A lot of the lines are already in, so you can see where it's there. And it's going to be darker in the centre where the light can't get. This bit's going to be darker. I think it'll be darker just there as well. It's going to be, now just work out which way. Those ones go that way. This goes like that. It's going to be darker where it gets into the deep corners. So you're just looking at all the darkest places. So that's my mid-tone, my darkest tone. Now, if you don't have these, if you have something like Pro Markers, I also like as alcohol, you get one colour. So all you need to do is find three that work together. So this is my darker one. So I've gone CR1, CR3 and CR6. So it's quite a big jump from CR3 to CR6. But it actually helps me to get that blend. So I can just come across here. Just reiterating where it'll be darkest. All the way like that. Then I'm going to go back with my mid-tone, and I'm just going to blend up to there. Just go up to the edges. Oh, I should have done a little bit of my darker one just there. I've missed it. Just here. I do more of a tap when I'm doing that. So it's just like a little tap, and we're just blending up to the edge. And again, like I said, it would have been better if I could have just left my inked image to dry a little bit, and if you want to, you can then go over with your final colour. Now, one thing you have to remember is alcohol ink evaporates, so as it dries it will become paler. So I'm going to do that in the coral. I would then come do exactly the same with my red, so I'd come all over with my red just here, so that would come right round there, and then down here. So just outline that for a minute. So I'd come all over that one with my red. Then my orange, find the palest one, get it the right way around. I'd come all round here. There we go. And I'd do exactly the same. Once I've coloured it in all over, I'd go in with a slightly darker colour, and then the darker still, and blend it out. So that would be my orange. So I would colour all of that, but you don't need to sit and watch me do that. Then with the blues, I'm going to do my foliage blue. So I'm just going to come in. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. I wanted the pale blue. I'm going to do the pale blue. So this is ice blue. And I'm just going to come all over these shaped leaves with this one. And then all I would do then is get my mid-tone, if that's strong enough. Now I'm going straight in with my darker tone just down the middle where it's going to be darker, just there. And then you can always blend it out using your mid one. There, like that. So I do that one, and those two. Then I would come in with this one. And so this is blue turquoise, but we're starting at 3. So all I would do is come along here and then just colour these in. Now you're not going to do a lot of blending on these, but you might want to do a little bit. So once you've coloured those in, just like that, I'd then come in with my darker. Actually, I'll just do that one. Just remember, it does evaporate a bit as it dries. I think it needs to be a little bit darker still. There we go. Just down there. And you do that. So I do that for those, and those. Now, once that's all coloured in, it's going to look a little bit flat. It's still on the page. So this is a great tip, and you'll see a lot of people do this. And I've got Ice Grey 3. Now, it's ProMark. It's completely different pens. I found all my greys in my Crafter's Companion have dried out a bit disappointingly. So I found my ProMarker, and all I'm going to do, you could actually get away with this with even a paler shade than this. But remember, as I said, it does, the ink does evaporate. And you can, you know, so it will go paler. So, and the other good thing about doing this is if you have gone very slightly over the lines, when you go round here, it blends it out. So it's a really, really good tip for, for making your colouring look better. So when I get to there, I'd then come round here. So I'm literally going round the outside. So you almost want a continuous line. Don't want it too thick. And that's the great thing about these ProMarker nibs is they're nice and fine. I can then come, you can still see, yeah, round here, all the way down to there and back out. If I could give you any one top tip for colouring, it's do it, put it down, walk away and come back. And you might think, oh, I don't like my colouring, but once it's dry and that ink's evaporated, you'll probably like it a whole lot more. Now there, I'm not going to try and get down into it, I'm just going to come around here because all we're trying to do is that continuous line all the way around. And what this is going to do is it's going to give it a drop shadow. So it's going to look like something that, it's going to look like a die cut. So it's going to look like it's popped off the page. And you just want to go all the way around. That bit gets a bit fiddly. So once you've finished that, you're going to end up, you can see where I've come from, the red, the orange, the coral, the blues, and then the turquoises here. You can see that's exactly what I was doing. So this is what I've got. And can you see, if I look at it down the same view as you, can you see where that grey is? Doesn't it look 3D? Doesn't it look like it's popping off the card? And that is a really clever trick. And that is what I wanted to teach you today for, I suppose it's a Technique Tuesday, isn't it? Making your cards pop off the page. So we're sticking with that colour because this is for our colour challenge. And we're going to put some glue on the back of there. So it's still quite a minimalist card because you don't always have to throw loads at it. And I could have covered that up, done some splatting on there. I could have done some ink blending on there. But I decided on this one, no, not today. We're going to keep it. We're not going to be scared of the white card, which I am very often petrified of white card. We don't like to leave too much, but I just think that is really simple. We're going to add one more thing in a minute, and it's not going to be a bow. Okay, so there's my red to match my red. So I thought I needed some blue to match my blue. I've just put a mucky mark on there. So I'm just going to get my glue eraser and just rub off there. Hopefully most of that's going to be covered. I put it stamping block on top. So I've got what was a card base for a 7-inch card, so that's the width of it. I've just trimmed a little bit off the bottom. I've put blue and then white because I think you want a gap between the blue and the red, and then I'm just going to pop that on there. Now you'll see I've very slightly raised my red, and I've raised my red using, if I can pick it up, my Sticks 2 foam roll. So it's just a 1 or 2 mil foam tape, and it's really, really good. If you can get hold of it, it just lifts your cards, just elevates your cards ever so slightly. So let's make sure I've got my card the right way up. I can put glue on there, but I think I trust myself. Look, and all that mucky mark that I put on my card is hidden. There we go. So that is nearly done. Now, decisions. I wish I could hear you shouting at my video. So I've found some coral gems. I found these ones, or I found some blue. But I've got blue, I've got red, so I think I need to stick with the coral. I'm talking out loud here. Now, do I want these smaller? I think they're too big. I'm going to go with these. I'm talking to myself here. And I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3. Not enough yet. So we're going to do 4, 5. There we go. Oh, put that down. Moving them around a little bit here. Right, there we go. I think that is it. That is all I am going to do. So I think that sentiment, thinking of you makes me smile, is a really nice sentiment to be sending to somebody who you just think needs a hug in a card. What a wonderful thing to say. But also, you've got your beautiful florals. I think it's lovely to colour the foliage in blue instead of green. It just makes it stand out a little bit. But it's this thing, it's this technique of edging round in the grey. If I hadn't have done blue there, a very pale blue would look nice, but I didn't want to use a blue because I'd already got blue on there. But doesn't that look absolutely gorgeous? A couple of pearls, and then it just looks absolutely wonderful. So I hope you like that. Yep, getting back into the swing of the non-Christmas cards. So yes, it's really good fun, and I hope you've enjoyed that. Nice and quick. As I said, it's the colour challenge. We've done the first one, which is this one. If you want to do a project for the November colour challenge, we haven't got long left. If you want to pick anything from this colour palette, and it can be inks, glitter paste, fabric, pens, any medium, cardstock. So yes, it was just all done with cardstock on this one. Whichever medium you want to do, please do a project, pop it on my Facebook page, and I will pick a winner at the end of November and send them a card. So I hope you do. But for now, please don't forget to subscribe. My link is at the top to subscribe, and I'll be back very soon with another project. Bye for now.